What's up all you wonderful cripples, non-cripples out there? Welcome to my channel. My name is Daz Bartley, and this is... I want you give me I'm so hungover. Oh, my head. I want to apologise that there was no video last night because I went out for it. It was like a joint birthday party. And I didn't get in till nearly 2 o'clock this morning. So I want to apologise sincerely for not having a video on. The plan was to take my camera with me and do some shots, but it was the end of it's the last Saturday of the month, so I didn't want my camera getting robbed, so I didn't, unfortunately. I'm not gonna lie, I feel terrible. I've got a banging headache. I feel sick. I don't know why, because I only had 4 pints of bitter and 2 bottles of Carlin. And I was alright. Yeah, I was a bit giddy, but I felt like I was alright. Last night I got in, obviously you've got to go to the Chinese on the way home. So, yeah, I managed to get a friend of mine to put me to bed, which I was really grateful about. It means a lot to me, so thank you very much, because I know you'll be watching this video. I had an awesome night. It's not very often I get friends to help put me to bed at night. I'm usually in bed for 10 o'clock, so I was very, very grateful for that, and I really enjoyed my night out. I'm not going to lie, it was well deserved. I haven't had a good night out for ages, but I'm feeling like crap today, so I thought I'd read part 3 of the Manx tales, because, as I said in the previous one, I want to try and do one once a week until I've caught up now, so I'm going to read part 3 of my blog, which is about my condition and my hospital appointments and all that, I think. Hold on, I'm going to flip it over. Sorry, guys. Oh, hell, I just ripped it. Not going to let me fold it over, so I'm just going to have to, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I can't fold it over because it's on a different page and it's a bit lopsided. I don't want to pull the stitches out, the staples out of it, so just try to do it like that, aren't I? Right. Oh. The hardest bit of this is balancing. Hey boy, I've done it. Right, so this is part 3 of the blog. It is about all my operations I've had throughout my life. Luckily for me, I'm quite lucky in a way, because my operations stopped when I was roughly about 6 years old. So I'll go ahead and read it anyway for you people that don't get the Manx blog. If you live in the UK, if you live in England. So here we go. Hi everyone. In this month's blog, I'm going to talk about all my operations I've had in my life and the struggles I have had with them. Well, the first 5 years of my life were dominated by hospital visits, physio and OT visits. Me and my mum had to travel to the other side of Manchester for appointments. I don't know if I've mentioned this in previous videos. I'm not actually from the Isle of Man. I was actually born in Stockport in Manchester, so all these operations happened before I moved over to the Isle of Man. Let's carry on. I'll start for the paragraph I just read because I've lost where I am now. Well, for the first 5 years of my life, I can't even read. Why did I choose this video today? Well, the first 5 years of my life were dominated by hospital visits, physio and occupational therapist visits. Me and my mum had to travel to the other side of Manchester for appointments. We also had to head down to London regularly, I can never say that word, regularly to Great Ormond Street Hospital. Right, this is my first operation. My first operation was on my feet to try and correct my clubbed feet. Now, my clubbed feet are like my hands. If I back up a little bit, they're a lot like my hands. You know how they're like twisted that way? It's almost, I say to my mates that I was born with my hands on the wrong side, because most people's hands bend inwards slightly. Well, mine, they're like hockey clubs. So, carry on anyway. So, yeah. The first operation was on my feet to try and correct clubbed feet. Clubbed feet is part of my condition. The only way I can describe it is, imagine the end of a hockey club and how it bends. Well, that is how my hands and feet are. Now, I wrote that because the people that don't know me and never seen me before, that was my way of explaining to them what my hands look like. But I've just shown you guys, so pardon me. Anyway, I was roughly around 18 months old then. That was a successful operation, kind of. They straightened them as much as they could. But, oh well, shit happens. My second operation was when I was 3. This was to put my dislocated hips back in place. We had moved from Manchester to Stockport, and the surgeon there said that my hips needed to be realigned, but that's where the trouble started. I was put into plaster cast from my tummy down in a kind of frame, but because my way of getting about was rolling on the floor, this halted my mobility. Yeah, I've only been starting going in my wheelchair from the age of like 13, 14, because I was getting bigger. So I was just in the way on the floor. I was growing up a bit, so I didn't really want to be on the floor a lot. But yeah, pretty much the age of like 12, 13, I was on the floor. When I come in from school, I'd get out of the wheelchair and I'd just chill out on the floor and play. Where were we? Oh yeah. The plaster they put on me was too tight. I had cuts and red scratches where the edges cut into my body. My mum repeatedly took me back to have new casts fitted. Sorry, the lights just died. I hope you can still see me. Mum said that I was in a lot of pain throughout the process. Pus and liquid started to seep out around my ankles, which Mum had to clean up and restuff with fresh cotton wool. When the final recast came about, my wound had opened up underneath the cast and had become infected. I had to go back to the hospital every night for about a month to have the hole unpacked, cleaned and repacked. After 2 years, they finally realised that the operation had brought adverse reactions because of my condition. Basically, the bone around the hips had grown over the joints, so I could no longer weight bear or bend my hips / pelvis. My mum demanded a second opinion from Great Ormond Street Hospital upon meeting the surgeons and doctors there. Mum had to make the decision to either operate, put the hips back into a good sitting position, or keep me straight so I could be in a standing frame. Now, I've got to give it to my mum. She picked the right choice, because I wouldn't like to be in the position all my life to like lie down all the time, even in a chair. You couldn't sit at all. At least now I have some sort of, I could sit at about 60-degree angle. So, you know, if you've noticed, I'm in a molded seat, and I am slouched slightly, but it beats lying down all the time. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to give credit to my mum there. She picked the right decision. So yeah. Anyway, that was operation. No, hold on. I've messed up here. Oh no, that was part 3 as well. Sorry, I'm confused. Operation 4 was going to involve re-breaking my hips and refiguring them. When they opened me up, they discovered that I had a bone disease called osteomyelitis. Yes, I said it right. This was caused by my previous operation, which became infected. As a result, operation number 4 didn't go ahead. It couldn't take place until all traces of the infection had gone. This meant intravenous antibiotics. I said that right too. What a roll! So I stayed at Great Ormond Street Hospital until they started to take hold. This was the only time my mum lost it in all of my hospital visits. I was in so much pain as my veins collapsed with the cannulas, and it was awful. I think it was about 6 months before I went back for the 5th and final operation. Everything went well with that. After the operation, I wasn't in the sitting position everyone had hoped for, but I had to take what I could. Big thanks to my mum Michelle for remembering all of this, because I was under the age of, what does it say? It was about the age of 6. I'm really lucky because I don't remember any of this. But from what my mum was saying, I was in a lot of pain throughout childhood, pretty much, and yeah, thanks to the idiot doctor that messed everything up. Yeah, he probably doesn't even work there anymore, but oh well. Because I remember, before, I don't know what age I was, but I remember sitting in the bathtub. This one weird. Sitting in the bathtub with my sister, because she's a year older than me. I was about roughly 4. No, younger than that. I was roughly 3 and she was 4, or I was 4 and she was 5. And I remember sitting at a 90-degree angle. I had no muscle in the back, so I remember my mum holding me up like into a sitting position. I had a lot more opportunity to do stuff when I was that young, because I could sit in a normal position. Like now, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I can't sit on a toilet to do business and stuff. So I do my business in a pad, and like an incontinence pad thing. And yeah, at my age, I don't really want to do that, but there's no way I can sit on a toilet. We've tried various toilets, and it just doesn't work. So that's one of the reasons why I get the carers in the afternoon. I wasn't going to tell you all that, but you know, I was getting to the point now with these videos where I've talked about sex and all that, so going for a dump's not much different, is it? Yeah, going for a dump's not much different, so I thought you guys should know about that. You probably don't want to know about that, but yeah, that was part 3 of the Manx Tales blog. Do you know what? I need a cup of coffee. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But if you like this video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. Even if you didn't like this video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.